And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
It's no secret that one of my favorite games is Ghost Stories. In fact, it is currently my favorite cooperative game. It's hard, it's tough, it's fun as you sit there and fight back ghosts. I really enjoyed the first expansion, The White Moon, and now we have The Black Secret. This expansion lets one player, and it lets you play 5 players, and lets one person take the bad guy. They're going to play for Wu Feng, and so one person can play the bad guy. Now, the game was already hard. Do we actually need a human player playing the bad guy? Well, let's take a look at some of the things this expansion adds. It seems like there's a kabillion more things that are added to the game, and in some respects that's true. The game is going to add the 5th player in, and this is the bad guys board. But there's also another board. This is the catacombs. These are directly underneath these, so however you set this up, the buildings are going to match directly with the catacombs. And there's actually little ladder pieces, which means that monks are going to be able to go down from one spot to another spot, and then they can move around in the catacombs. If a ladder is gone or destroyed for whatever reasons, and there's ways that the bad guy can destroy those ladders, then you can't go down into that spot. The game is going to play essentially the same way, except the bad guy has his board here. What the bad guy does is each turn, when you turn over a ghost card, the bad guy decides where this ghost card goes. He can place it in a spot according to the legal placing rules, or he can discard the card for one of 2 things. He can discard the card to cast a curse that is the same cost and color as the card. At the beginning of the game, he gets a bunch of curses that he'll be able to launch, and these curses are level 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's on the back, but it's also noted by the number of notches underneath. So if I had a level 1 green ghost, I could instead cast this curse, which lets me knock somebody down. On their next turn they can only stand up. Or this one, which takes away one of their tokens that they have. Or this one here, which lets me bring out another monster on the board. So I can play these, and when I play them, I place them on my board like this because you have to play 2 level 1s before you can play a level 2. And then you have to play 2 level 2s, which would require another level 1 before you play a level 3, and eventually you get up to the level 4 spells, which can be very devastating. There's all sorts of spells, and if you do fill up all the spells, you clear the chart, draw new spells, and start again. Also, I can discard one of those ghosts. If I discard a level 2 ghost, level 3, or level 4, I will take these matching demons, this nasty mummy dude, or this one coming out of the ground, or this gigantic grave digger. And each of these has a special ability depending on which side of the board that you use. Like the grave digger, when you kill him, makes you roll a curse die, while on this side, when you kill the grave digger, a new monster appears. So when you bring these people here, they come into this catacomb through one of 2 entrances, and at the beginning of each player's turn, you can use each of your demons in here. You can either make them move one spot, or they can start digging. And when you dig, you'll take the top tile here, and these piles of tiles depend on how many good players are in the game, but you take the top tile and do whatever it says. Here I got to use a curse token. Here it's just dirt, there's nothing there. Here, more dirt, nothing there. Here on the bottom, ooh, a skeleton, and we have little skeleton tokens that are other monsters you have to fight if the cultists come down here, because they're going to want to fight this guy. And the reason they're going to want to fight him is because 3 of these bottles are down here, and each time I find one of these bottles, I place it here. When the 3rd one is placed, then this incarnation of Wu Feng shows up. Woo! And on each of his turns, he can move anywhere on the board. If there's no Taoists on a spot, for his action, instead of moving, he can haunt that spot. And if there is Taoists, he will roll the dice, and they will all take damage for every black color that he rolls. Real pain in the neck, and if they allow him to get out. Now you can fight these monsters. You go down there and you fight them just like a regular person, although you see that they're a little bit easier to kill because any set of colors will kill them, not just one set. But they're also easier for the bad guy to spawn. Now, there is a new marker included with the game. You can see it here, so you remember whose turn it is, because that's going to matter for how the bad guy is placing the monsters and deciding whether he wants to place them or not. And I guess I should point out at this point that there are some new monsters included with the game. Many of these monsters, well, I think almost all the new regular monsters are children. So you can see here is the lava child, or we have the flesh child, or the lake children. Oh, actually there's conjurers too, not just children. And they just basically let you have they have the new special abilities. Bring out a demon, cast a spell. Here's the rotten child, which is very funny, and the doom child. And they have different special abilities. And there's also some new big bad guys that you can bring out. And the way these work is, instead of putting them in the deck, you will start with one of them in your hand, and then you'll put these cards in the deck, depending on how hard you want the game to be. And when you draw this, you'll play one of the cards from your hand. But there are special abilities where you can get more of these in your hand, and the more of them you have in your hand, when it comes time for Wu Fang to show up, you can pick the one that you think will best hurt the players at that point in time, which can be very handy. Now, all this seems very unfair for the players, and yeah, it is in a sense, but there's some good things about it. First of all, some of the tiles here are actually good for the players. Let's see if I can find one of these tiles. Here's a good tile for the player. But what does this tile mean? Well, for that, we have to show a new thing here, and that's with these chi cards. You're going to place several of these on the table at the beginning of the game. And every time a player loses chi, they're going to place it on these cards instead of just discarding it. And when the card gets this one 4 chi, you can kill 2 monsters. When this one gets 4 chi, you can kill all the demons. When this one here gets 3 chi, you can kill 1 demon. Just not Wu Fang. Here you can bring back 2 ladders. And so they have different things that they're able to do. Take a monster card, put it in the bottom of the pile. So this is a benefit that they have. Also, each of the Taoists, when they're down to 1 chi left, they're going to take the token that matches the color of the person opposite to them. Then you have both special powers, which is pretty cool. And it makes up for the fact that you're going to die any second. But I mean, if I can take a token of my choice each turn and do 2 actions, that's pretty neat. So those are the 2 benefits that the Taoists have to fight back against the bad guy. And basically, other than that, though, the game plays exactly the same. There's some tiles and cards in here that work with the White Moon expansion, and so you can mix and match the expansions. Okay. I'm always a little cautious when a game adds a bad guy. Like when Pandemic added the virus guy inside it, I wasn't really sure that did a whole lot for the game. While in this game, I actually liked it. There's a couple things here. First of all, the stuff that the Taoists get, it seems to be balanced. In fact, I almost want to say maybe the Taoists have an easier time of it. But not because of their new special abilities or better than the bad guy's special abilities. It's basically because the guy who's playing Wu Fang has a lot of decisions to make and a lot of things he can do with his cards and things. And the problem is, when you play against the computer or the game itself, it's just going to keep smacking you and smacking you and smacking you. On the other hand, a player, he's probably trying to beat you, but he'll get caught up in doing this or this. He's not maybe as relentless. So you have to kind of think that way when you play. You can say, oh, I can go in here and dig and bring out Wu Fang's incantations, and I have these curses and all this cool stuff. Yeah, it's great. But by not putting the ghosts on the board, you're making it easier up there for the Taoists. You got to be careful. One of the things about Ghost Stories was it always seemed like you were being overwhelmed. Now, what you can do is kind of overwhelm one player maybe and then use other players' cards. And it's interesting. And it's a good back and forth. I think there's enough in here for the bad guy to make some actually interesting decisions. It's fun for you to decide where to put the ghosts. Because the way the game used to be, well, put the ghost near us. We want the ghost at the spot we can quick go kill him. While the bad guy's going to be like, I'm going to put it far away. Unless it's a ghost that brings out another ghost, and go ahead and kill it. And when the Black Widow comes out, there's one person who's cheering in the game. As usual, usually people aren't. And it allows 5 people to play. Component quality is high. The demons are hideously ugly, although they're certainly fun to kill, and they keep coming back and coming back, but you can keep killing them. I think it's a very entertaining expansion. I do not think it's as good as White Moon. White Moon is the best expansion. It's fantastic, and it's one that I'll include as soon as I teach the basic game. And this one is tough to teach along with the basic game, and if you use both expansion, wow, there are a lot of moving pieces. That might be almost too much of a good thing at that point in time. But it doesn't detract from the game, doesn't make the bad guy too hard, and gives the good guys a few more options. Go down catacombs and fight off the demons, or stay up and fight the ghosts. So I like it a lot. The Black Secret.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!
Yeah.